Now I need something today.
Ready? Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Augusta Township Council meeting dated September 8th of 2025, 5 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. First, we have the land acknowledgement statement. Augusta Township acknowledges that we live and work on ancestral territories of the indigenous people. The township recognizes all indigenous peoples and honors their past, present, and future. The township values and respects their cultural heritages and relationship to the land. Okay, so I got some opening remarks. First of all, Councilor Michelle Bowman, as most of you know, she had surgery, quite important surgery, so she won't be attending council for a while, I imagine, until the end of the month. So I wish her the best. She's resting. We heard everything's in good order, so. Anyway, I imagine we'll see her later on this month, so. We also lost one of our developers in the township, Stefano Ferrante, unexpectedly, so the CAO, myself went to the wake and paid our respects, but you know, for somebody 46 years old, it was sudden and just a shame. We attended the Association of Municipalities of Ontario in Ottawa, conference there. We didn't have any delegations. So I know a couple of the councilors attended, a couple of the Edwardsburg Cardinal delegations that came up, mostly concerning energy and electricity. So anyway, it was good. And we'll see the report that Councilor Pate did after. Next, we have the Jules baseball team, Ontario provincial champions. So congratulations to them. And that ties into the North Augusta Labor Day Parade. We saw them there. They had a great big float. So it's great to see how, you know, a young baseball team like that reach the top in competitive sport. So their hearts were into it. And anyway, thank you very much to their coaches and their players and everything else. Labor Day, myself, well, all of us counselors, we participated in Labor Day parade, and it was good. Good numbers, really, and the you know, the organization was great. So no, enjoyed it. I think everybody that went, the weather worked out too. So anyway, thank you very much for that. And as we say, we got Spencerville Parade coming up this Saturday. Yeah. Okay, that's all I had for my remarks. So we'll continue. First thing is the approval of the agenda. Moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councilor Pate. Be it resolved the council agenda for Monday, September 8th, 2025 be adopted. Does any member have any changes, additions, etc.? I see nothing. Therefore, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, we have disclosure of interest and nature thereof. Does any member have anything to bring forward that's on the agenda? Okay, again, I see nothing. Approval of the minutes of the previous meetings, moved by Councilor Pape, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be resolved that council approve the minutes of the August 11th, 2025 council meeting as distributed to all members. Does any member have any corrections, anything in the minutes? Yeah, see nothing. I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, we have business arising from the minutes. Does any member have anything to bring up? Yep, see nothing. Delegations and presentations. Tonight, we have the short-term rental management and enforcement by Margaret Alexander and her husband Jack here too, at Burnside Drive area residents. So, Mark, do you want to Say, you stay there, come closer.
I'm good here. I think my voice carries well. Yes. Okay. So I apologize. Before I begin, I do want to let you know that I appreciate not having heard a collective groan as I stood up. We are all tired of the ongoing saga of the short-term rental at 1115 Birdside Drive. So thank you for that. My remarks will be relatively brief, and I brought notes to keep me on track, so I won't tie you up too long. Prior to receiving Shannon's response last week to a letter of concern from those in our neighborhood, we were all extremely frustrated and discouraged with it being allowed to continue operating, breaking terms of the bylaw with no apparent consequences. Thankfully, when we heard from Shannon, he shed some new light on where negotiations are at. And we are definitely feeling more optimistic that perhaps the end may in fact be in sight. We want to acknowledge the time, the effort, and the cost incurred by the township, as well as the numerous staff hours that have had to be dedicated to resolving this issue. And we do concur that it is by far preferable to settle disputes out of court if at all possible. This one, however, has been dragging on painfully long for us. We hope council can appreciate our frustration at the owners and their legal team using every delay tactic in the book so that the owner can continue to reap significant financial rewards at the expense of the quality of life for those living in the area. As residents, we had endured over 2 years of loud music and parties day and night until last September, when you passed the first short-term rental bylaw. At that point, we all breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that as of January 1st, 2025, there would be licensing in place, and with that came restrictions on occupancy and noise. Since that deadline passed, the owners have been granted extended deadlines of April, and June, and July, and September, and yet we are all still here. At one point, we were told, however, that as part of the extensions granted, that the owners had to comply with all of the other stipulations of the bylaw. If that is in fact the case, it certainly has not happened. Rarely have there been under 10 guests, and in the past month twice, there have been over 20 people actually staying in the house. One of them for a whole week. Ask me how much fun that was. We found it hard to understand how Township can't enforce the other terms if it wasn't, in fact, part of the agreement of the extension. Every time a new lot of occupants arrive, we hold a collective breath wondering what we're in for this time. And this occurs for us on a weekly basis, especially through the summer. As for the occupants, this is their vacation, and therefore they've rented it, probably to party. We've listened to large groups of often multi-generational family reunions, or worse, bachelor or bachelorette parties celebrating around the pool and hot tub well into the night. There's, of course, laughing, music, games, on and on. When it's children, of course, they're either skills of delight or just good old-fashioned screams. So it gets very hard to deal with on an ongoing basis. Is it constant? No, it's not. Is it frequent? Yes, it is. Personally, for Jack and I, in order to get a decent night's sleep this summer, we've had to resort to closing every window in our house, to buying a white noise machine, for goodness sakes, and using earplugs. That gets tiring. There's 2 points that I want to address about this, if I could. One, we have heard that Rob Bowman has proposed an amendment to the bylaw to limit the maximum number of people on the premises to 10, including visitors. This is music to our ears. Not only would it make enforcing the number of people at the residence less complicated for the rest of us, it would help reduce the noise. And this is the most annoying and difficult thing for us to deal with. When there's 12 to 20 even well-meaning people around, that's a lot of people. Number 2, we are concerned that apparently, if we are correct, the new bylaw officer works Monday to Friday days. That's not when many of these non-compliances occur. And we're wondering if this person could not be on call. It would give consistency to the township responses to infractions. Now, I know we have been advised to call the OPP regarding noise, but we all know that's a nuisance call to them. If we do resort to that, we've already put up with several hours of unpleasantness. A police drive by as well usually doesn't give a true picture of what has been going on. And no, they are not going to pick at them. We thank all of you for the unbelievable amount of time you've had to dedicate to this. We know this can work. With other short-term rentals in the township it has, with other short-term rentals elsewhere it has. So we're incredibly frustrated at our lives being disrupted by inconsiderate owners with no regard for allowing their rental property to inflict such noise on us. We are hopeful that the township and solicitors will now take a hard line to ensure that the application and installation of the new septic system occurs in a timely fashion, and we can all finally shut the door on this. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mayor. You're absolutely right. We're all sick of it. It's been going on way too long. Unfortunately, when somebody doesn't follow the rules and then lawyers get involved, it gets costly. I know for the township, we've been spending dollars there too. We don't really want to spend dollars, but we gotta look after the residents. So I'm just gonna have either the CAO or Mr. Bowman basically give us an update. Because I know we've got some emails reference what's been happening, but I think the members here want to be brought up to date so far.
Yeah, certainly, Mayor, and thank you, Mark, for the presentation. Certainly, we're hoping as well that we can get to a resolution that you guys can at least hopefully enjoy your residential property. And certainly that is our goal as well too, as we look for voluntary compliance with the owners. It's unfortunate that, you know, they live in Ottawa, Toronto, and don't have appreciation for the residents around. And certainly that's what we want to get at. So we have been with our solicitor for some time. As soon as the original time when we sent out the requirements for the license to the owner, they retained a lawyer right away. And that was the reason why we retained our lawyer, to make sure that sometimes between lawyers, it's a little bit better, a little bit faster. So I will say is that they have complied with all requirements except the septic. We did actually get a letter from their lawyer this afternoon that they are looking at completion of the septic, hopefully sometime in October. They're just working with 3 different contractors right now. Contractors are saying at earliest would be kind of first week or 2 in October. So they're hopefully to get that. That would be the last piece that they would require to get a license. At that time, once they get the license, if they're non-compliant, then of course, Rob and Chad would be able to issue fines of $900 a day per infraction. The one thing I will assure you, and that we did have a meeting with South Nation on Friday. Monique from South Nation was on the site on Friday. There is no concern when it comes to any leakage or any smell or anything like that. We did get it confirmed by their lawyer today that they've had 2 engineers on site too, to make sure that there's no issue with the septic currently. So we're satisfied with that, and hopefully I wanted to pass that along to you guys as well. But certainly for us, you know, we certainly, and Rob's been spending a lot of time on it too, is we want to get compliance. We want to hopefully be able to give you guys a license that is, you know, good and that they follow rules. So we do have constant communication with our lawyers. We do pass on the information to our lawyers about how many guests are there overnight. We bring that back to their lawyers. So, you know, our hope is that we can have this hopefully resolved by mid-October for you guys, and hopefully get back to you know, you guys can start enjoying and stuff like that. So, but certainly I'm here to answer any questions if council has any, or you have anything, Mark, or Rob, you want to add anything as well too?
I'd like to thank you for your presentation. I will add that we did make a recommendation to limit the absolute max to 10. Our lawyers are looking at that, looking at previous case law, so on and so forth, and they will let us know what they think in regards to that. But at this point, we don't have anything solid. And we do work our bylaw officers on call on the weekends. you know, if Chad's not available, then normally I am, you know, it will depend on the call, whether we, you know, respond or not. If it's a noise, obviously we have to be there on site. If it's something we would have to wait till Monday, then we'll wait till Monday, but I can assure you that we do have our officers on call.
Okay, we had misunderstood that part.
Okay, members, questions?
Not really a question, but I mean, we're as frustrated as you guys are. I couldn't believe that once we passed the bylaw, that they didn't have to comply. That just totally threw it to me, but yeah, once it was explained to me about all the rigmarole, the lawyers involved and everything, and you know, it takes time, but if I was living there, I'd be as frustrated as you guys.
No, we appreciate that. We're not sort of holding, you know, blame on council or staff here. We know it's been a long, frustrating journey for sure, but we are definitely looking forward to some resolution soon. Thank you.
And then looking at the news too, up by Crawford Lakes and everything else, it's a big problem up there with, people renting cottages for the weekends and, having massive parties and everything else. So it's, you know, we have one house here, or you should say on the river, but up there, they've got many cottagers that are, you know, it could be just as bad. So it is a growing problem in Ontario. So, that's why I think the legal system is starting to bend and look towards the landowners around those short-term rentals. So, yes, I don't want to be here in 3 or 4 months talking about short-term rentals again. I hope we come to a solution. They either get their license or sell the house, I don't care, whatever, but, then they follow the rules. Yeah, because it takes a lot of the staff's time, but a lot, yes.
Hey, you know, the other thing we looked at, Rob and I went talking with our solicitor as well too. I mean, we do have the prosecution route, but we know how delayed courts can be. You know, we won't be able to get a hearing probably for a year or so before anything gets resolved or even gets in front of a judge. And you know, our goal with our solicitor is to try and get the voluntary compliance, which is the quickest route. And, you know, if they're gonna spend the money on the new septic system, our hope is that they're gonna follow the guidelines. If they're investing in that property, and I said, we're prepared to, once a license issued, we'll be fining them if they are in non-compliance, and we also have the ability to pull their license if they don't, so. That's our goal, and our hope is that by hopefully the next few days, I'll get some more information from our solicitor, and I'll certainly forward it to the whole group there, just so that you guys are aware of it, and we'll look for hopefully closing this chapter at least by the end of October.
We're not trying to, I mean, it's not every weekend.
Yeah, I know.
It's a bad one. There's
Yeah.
been some very nice people there too, but the other ones are.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, the deputy mayor and I signed the bills we received from lawyers and that, so, it's not gonna go too long. So,
Very good. Thank you.
anyway, thank you very much.
We appreciate your time. Thank you.
We are thinking of you, everybody on Burnside, but yeah, unless we, I don't even say that, come down tonight or something, have our own party. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll move on to, correspondence and petitions. The first one we have is the whistle cessation at CN South Campbell Road crossing request. And put in by Mrs. Caitlin McDougall. Any member have anything to say about that? Yes, the council Payne.
No, you live right next to your tracks. On that road, I mean, I know, I've had people that live near tracks and that I know. I guess you get used to it after a while. Is it, I mean, this isn't a local issue, it's something you hear in other municipalities, but I know they mention it to you as well. I mean, from your perspective, being right beside the tracks, what are your thoughts on it?
Does anybody else have anything question? Yeah, what, before I answer?
Well, it comes to a fact of whether you wanna stop inconveniencing somebody or you're more concerned about safety. The speed of the trains is going up.
Yeah.
So therefore, even the horn whistle doesn't give you a lot of time, but it is something. And, even the freight trains, are going up over 100 kilometers an hour. So, CN told me when I was talking to them that their rail lines are gonna be running at 190 kilometers an hour for the CN.
I asked I'll say my comments, because I asked the clerk before the meeting if I had to remove myself as chair, but seeing there's no motion, I don't have to, so I'll say my piece. Born in Brockville, lived by the tracks. Moved to Maitland, got married, brought up 3 kids, 200 meters from the tracks. Lost the kids, tried to get rid of them, moved to South Campbell Road. And I'm 200 meters from the tracks. So the last 40-some years, longer than that, 60 years, I lived by the tracks. So I'm used to trains. I have no problem with them. The things I see on South Campbell Road, I'm the closest one to the tracks. I see everything on the tracks and the crossing. Nobody else does on the road. So I see people walking down the tracks, which I can't understand. I see people going through the gates all the time when they're down because they don't see a train. So I just see so many bad things at that crossing I realize this is my neighbor and they just moved into the area last month. And, if you're going to buy a house next to railway track, I think there should have been, some questions asked, but, anyway, the tracks have been there for over 200 years. So anyway, that's, and the timing, of course. Operation Lifesaver is on next week from September 15th to the 21st. So that's Rail Safety Week. So, and then what they push is the 3 words: stop, listen, and look. So, I don't know if everybody knows, but there was 100 Canadians killed at crossings last year. And that's consistent every year. So all good faith, I don't want to be the person living next to the tracks and seeing a horrible accident. And I don't even want to be around that. So as far as I'm concerned, the gates, the sound, those horns shouldn't be silenced because people sometimes are stupid. And no matter what safety barriers you put up, I'm in a hurry. I gotta go to work. That's how deaths happen. So I cannot support this letter. And I don't think I ever will, for a clear conscience, so I can sleep at night. But I understand a new family moving in, young children and that, but hey, my 3 kids grew up with it. And they have no problems. My animals have no problems, so I'm very happy. And I'll be honest with you too. 80% of the engineers, if you're outside that, they'll just give a quick beep, as long as there's nothing on the tracks. So they do work with you. So I cannot support this, man. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Yes, Counselor.
So we've had other residents come to us before with the same issue. I think it was the last council.
Oh, it's the former mayor.
But we have to take responsibility if there's an accident in the township if we decide to shut off the horns.
Well, Roxel has no, during certain times, so, yes.
So we actually had the same type of report that came to council last year. On Blue Church, it was, and which council did not support as well. If the council does support it, we are on the hook for all the charges to do the study, as well as implementing the barriers or implementing whatever we need to implement as well too. So if council does support this, then you probably would be opening the door for this other request to come back in as well too.
Yes, Deputy.
I would suggest that we tell the residents to contact CN directly and let them deal with CN and put their case forward.
Hey, anything other? Okay, we'll leave it as is. We don't support it. 9.2, Association of Municipalities Ontario, I mentioned it briefly, AMO 2025 conference. Councillor Pate did up a report. Thank you very much, Councillor Pate. Did I do it or did you do
I
it?
did it.
Good man. Anyway,
Oh, I did it.
I haven't tried that yet. I don't really want
I don't
to.
trust it.
No. So thank you very much for doing that. So I think it's important we do to let the public know what's going on and what we're doing. Okay. Did I miss one? Oh, I just see. So moved by Deputy Mayor Wyman, seconded by Councillor Pate, be it resolved that council accept the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, AMO 2025 conference report for information. We'll call the question, all in favor? Carry. Next, we have our committee reports. The counties, the only thing I have, counties, because all our meetings start tomorrow. So they hired a new public works director, Sarah McDonald. She starts October 14th. So you know there. There you go. That's all I got from the counties. It's a busy week for the county councilors. Okay, next, the South Nation Conservation Authority, Rideau Valley Conservation Authority, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, okay, Rideau Valley, they didn't have a meeting in August, they take August off, so nothing to report on Rideau Valley, other than they are also having level 3 water. Advisory for grid, and, same as South Nation. But South Nation has a watershed tour tomorrow, and we're going on Finley Creek. They have had a couple of people cancel, so if anybody else is interested in going, they can. Catch a ride with me. We'll meet there at 8 and done at 4. That'd be a lot of walking.
Recreation committees. Anybody have any report? Deputy Mayor first.
Okay, well, North Augusta Labor Day was great, as you already mentioned, and their actual meeting is tonight, because normally it's the first Monday, but because of Labor Day, it's tonight, so Amy is here, so, but after this meeting, that's where I'm heading next. So,
Okay, CAO.
Just if I can update, since Amy's here tonight there, and I was gonna try and get an email out to her today, but didn't get there, but I want to give an update on the lights, so. The plan is right now is we've gone back to the lighting, company. The lights that were initially provided, did not really mention baseball. It was more parking lots, and areas of, other areas. So what they're doing right now, which I'm expecting by the end of the week, is they're doing a lighting schematic of the actual lights for baseball for a 50 versus a 60-foot pole based on the property. Once I get that, I'll be sharing that with Amy, to go through it. The plan would be is to get the new poles in before the winter and then put the new lights in hopefully, in the spring. Not sure when baseball is officially over, North Augusta.
It'll go till the end of October.
End of October, okay, so if we schedule in November to do the polls. I'll work the schedule with you anyways, Amy, to,
And it's Sunday and Friday and Sunday.
Okay.
Through October.
okay, perfect. Okay, so that'll be our plan, so once I get that information, I'll bring that back to council, over the next meeting as well too.
Availability of the polls.
Availability of polls are 2 to 3 weeks, so we'll have them in and get them installed. We're just deciding whether or not we need a 50-foot or 60-foot pole. Raffle does 60 feet for all their poles, so I think that's probably what we're leaning towards. It does cost a little bit more, but we'd rather make sure we get the right poles in with the right amount of lighting so that they can enjoy baseball there, so.
So once baseball is done, why don't we just do the polls and the lights at the same time?
If the lights are in, the lights take a little bit longer to order. But we can certainly, if we can get them in by November, we'll certainly do both at the same time.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
couldn't wait till the next year.
Yep, absolutely.
Lights.
Yep.
That quick.
No, if we can get both, we'll certainly do the both at the same time.
Oh, sorry, any other recreation? We haven't met, eh? Public Library Board, again, I don't have, okay, CAO.
No, talking to Councilor Bowman today, so they meet next Monday or Tuesday, which I'll be attending, so I can have an update for council at the next meeting.
Okay. Economic Development and Tourism, Councillor Pegg.
Thank you, your worship. We actually had two meetings. We had one on Monday and one again this afternoon. Productive in both counts. Work continues on the map, making some headway there. So we had a big planning meeting today to really determine more so what's going on what side, on the front and the back. And so I think it was pretty good. I think we got some good feedback from our members. So our next meeting is going to be on the 6th of October, I believe. Unless we have more map stuff to go through before that. So things are in progress. Of course, we've got a deadline of, I believe it's March, right?
March 31st.
Yeah. The awards, November 7th at the Merc. Put that in your calendars. But it comes with a challenge. If I can get everybody in this room before the 6th of October to nominate somebody. We have, I think, maybe one, unless we had a lot more come in over the weekend. It's been slow. And so, we've got four categories. I think off the top of my head,
Fine.
five categories. Yeah. So 5 categories of businesses and people. The form's pretty good. It's, we looked at it really nice on the website. No longer need to download this big long form. You fill it out right underneath the category. I did one on the weekend. It took me 10 minutes. So, let's recognize the businesses and make sure that we have some businesses out there getting recognized on the 7th. So yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, any questions? No? Okay, Planning Advisory Committee, Deputy Mayor.
And Planning Advisory Committee, kind of a light agenda. We had 2 lot additions and then a few severances. So everyone was fairly straightforward and it all passed and recommendation will be coming to the council.
Yeah. Planning departments are very busy. Okay, staff reports, part 2025-089, moved by Councillor Page, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be resolved that council received this report for information regarding drainage improvements completed by the Public Works Department during the summer of 2025, and we highlight the need for continued investment in our municipal drainage infrastructure. So, got it, we've got pictures, mayor lights. Any comments or questions? Hey, I got one. You have the steel galvanized culverts there.
Yes.
You also have the poly ones. I don't know what they're called.
HDP, so
Yeah.
heavy duty poly.
So is there a
yes.
big cost difference between the two?
So through the chair, Mayor, there is a cost difference. Plastic is cheaper, but plastic must have minimal 2 feet of cover. And a lot of our roads don't have cover. So prime example, when we did the 6th concession, I'm gonna say, when we redid the 6th concession, that road was so spongy, there was a 12-inch pipe under there and it did this. And when we took it out, it was collapsed to plastic pipes. So you need cover to keep them structurally where, yes. You need minimal 2 feet of cover for anything that we would use. And the bigger the pipe, you need even more cover.
And as far as the year span, like how many years typically would the
So
steel one last?
through your chair, the steel ones would last probably 20 to 25, depending on your weather and if it's sitting in water oxidation, yes. There's some culverts that are in this township that are probably close to 30, 40, 50 years old. We do have some old steel plated ones that are at least 30, 35 years old, the old plate and river ones.
So I think you said you did 37 this summer or what?
So far, yes, we've done 37 new culverts with approximately 400 meters of pipe so far in 2 months, July and August.
So going forward, John, what's your plan for future years? Like so many a year, but how many a year?
So through the chair again, we rent that machine that I rent every 2 months, July and August. That's my goal, to do all the drainages. So we do culvert inspections. And we go out and do culverts inspections. I try to pick on the road to ditch it 1 year. And now that the culverts are wide open, we actually can see the culverts with the ditches cleaned up. We can inspect the culverts and then come up with a game plan for the following year to change culverts. So lately, we ditched McLeansville last year, McLeansville Road. I changed the culverts this year. Same thing with Knapp Road. I'm just trying to pick roads, ditch them, and finish the drainage off accordingly.
Okay, so they tie in with the roads, so, all right.
Yes,
Next time.
I'm hoping in the next 5 to 8 years, we should be looking pretty good.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So. And a cost of 37 culverts. That's just the culverts, but then you got labor on top of that, yeah, so it's.
Yes, and it's time consuming. If we're proactive, it's a lot cheaper than being reactive.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Okay, CAO,
Just one thing I'll add, and certainly that will support John moving forward, is our asset management plan. So as we get ready to get back on our asset management plan and get things back on track, that will become a tool that at least John can use moving forward to, for a long-term planning perspective, is be able to put money away for culverts down the road. And if he knows in the next 10 years, he's gonna have to replace X, then he can be ahead of the game rather than reacting to the ones that are just failing. So that's why I think it's very important that we get this asset management plan up and running. And our goal is still hopefully first quarter in 2026 to have that ready to go.
you know, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, John, one of the residents asked me, are you still doing, chipping on the ditches? Like,
Yes, so my plan is, right now I've got Buckaroo out again today, the bucket truck last 2 days. I'm trying to get all the dangerous trees that we have from complaints from the residents, trying to get them out of the way. And I'm hoping, within the next 2 weeks, the brushing will be out. Yeah, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to do the whole township, so the goal is mid-September to get the brusher out and, fulfill that, obligation, yes.
Yeah. Oh, good report, thank you for the pictures and everything.
Beautiful pictures.
Oops, I get it. I read this already, yep, so I'll call a vote, all in favor? Carried. Yep. Next, we have report 2025-090. Excuse me, moved by Deputy Mayor Wyman, seconded by Councilor Pate. Be resolved, the council received this report for information regarding the recently completed Cell Zero settling pond. So you can see from John's report, two good things, pictures. Second thing, he only spent half what I was budgeted. So, anybody have any comments, questions, members? NCAO,
Just one comment. I will commend John and his crew for doing this in-house. Initially, when we had some pricing for doing it externally, it was anywhere between $200,000 and $300,000. So some savings doing it in-house, some money that stays in our working reserve that doesn't have to come out, which is good for council. But overall, I think this was a requirement from the ministry for probably 8-9 years now. So we can certainly check this off the list and comply with our agreement with NBCP. So
that's good. Good report, thank you very much. I get the picture to show my wife, because the day she was talking to you were all excited about getting your Cell Zero.
It's
She
gone.
says, what the hell is a Cell Zero? So she didn't know, anyway, I'll show her the picture. Anyway, no, good job, I like saving money. Well, I got you here. Maynard site. Are they not using the compactor there?
Yes, they better be. I get,
It's just never on Saturdays,
It's all roped off,
yeah, every Saturday.
and I went today, it's roped off.
mental note, I will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you're gonna say we don't use it anymore because of the new process,
So,
and we spent $50,000 last year buying a new one, that'd be a set. Yes,
John and I actually are meeting with Fast Cities on Wednesday, so we'll certainly follow up and make sure
Yeah.
that's being used.
yes,
Just a quick note on that, when we've gone on Saturdays, they say that it doesn't get emptied Friday, so that's why
Yeah.
you're having you put it into the construction bin. And the staff would come to me and say, what are you gonna do about it? I'm like, you have to talk to the proper people, such as John and Fast Eddie, but that's what I hear from the staff.
Yeah, the same feedback is good. Basically, what they say is it's so full that the compactor can't push it back far enough. And so they just, if they're sitting there one day, they're just backing it up and then ramming it forward, backing it up, ramming it forward, while the garbage is going into the other bin, so.
Okay,
So the back door.
we'll be having, we'll be having.
These are marching orders
Yep.
anyway, so. Okay, good job on cell zero. I'll call the question. All in favor? Carry. Yep. Next, we have the 2025-091 Communication Quarterly Activity Report. Moved by Councillor Page, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be resolved that council received the Communication Department's Quarterly Activity Report for information. And, got a whole bunch of information there, so. Members, do you have any questions or comments? Yes, Councillor Page.
Well, since I'm probably Candy and I are the two that are on social media the most in this room, definitely kudos to the Tuesday tips are a highlight every week. And definitely lots of feedback, you know, it's nice to see social media active from within the township. I hear from many people that, you know, it's nice to see that there's information out there more than just, oh, there's a council meeting. It's just tips and stuff like that that are beyond just normal announcements that, you know, people know happen every week or every month or whatever it is. So definitely, and the report's great. It's always, you know, numbers and data are always, you know, they speak volumes, right? So it shows, and as long as those numbers keep going up, engagement will drop a little bit over the summer, which is normal, but beyond that, I think things are going in the right direction. So good job.
Will, it's your first meeting. Any comments? You don't have to, I just asked if you did. Yes, Ian.
I certainly do. I think a great job on Will and certainly echo Councillor Pape's comments that, you know, we're starting to evolve. We're starting to get our, to the mayor's point, starting to sell ourselves, get out there in our communities and across. So well done. I'm still kind of a little bit perplexed on how the CAO Ice Bucket Challenge was only 5th versus the mayor's Ice Bucket Challenge was 1. But anyways, we're gonna look at those numbers again and we'll report back to council.
Yes, Deputy.
Yeah, well, I'd like to thank Willow for coming out Friday to our Grenville Food Bank project, and she took pictures of the signs that we finally got up. It's been a 2-year project getting them done, so anyway, thanks for coming out, Will. We'll wait to see them on that thing.
If I make a comment on that, I drove by them quick, so I didn't get a good look, but is there white spaces at the bottom?
That's for sponsors.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah.
Just one more, I
Trying to-
forgot I made some notes.
And
on
the
that.
curve road.
Yeah, I made some notes on this one. So the one thing that I did notice, I just happened to check for Jeff's latest mayor's message, just didn't strike this time.
No.
Only 130 views on YouTube. And that was July that you put that out. So I don't know if we need to do maybe a little late now, but for future, maybe try, I don't know, cross posting it Facebook, like an actual Facebook video or something. Just, it's social media is all about try this if it works, try this if it works.
Yeah.
You know, so it just, I went and checked because I know you didn't put the YouTube numbers on here. And so I went and looked and made a note of it. I was really surprised because it's the lowest out of all the ones that he's done. So also the newest, but still, I mean, 130 is kind of low. So,
Yeah, I saw that too, but it was a summer season.
yeah,
And the other thing I noticed is there's another Augusta Township now. So before we were kind of separate, but in Augusta, Georgia, they call themselves Augusta Township.
and we get a lot of people trying to join the Augusta Township group
Yeah.
from Augusta, Georgia.
If I may, worship, there are several Augusta Township.
Yeah. so-
You get the phone calls about why they can't work the burn permit system.
See aliens.
Good job. I still like to do something with that Business View article.
Yeah.
You know, yeah,
Yeah.
later on, yeah,
To-do list.
yeah, no matter what the CAO says. Okay, I'll call the question, all in favor? Carry, thank you. Next, we have the monthly building report 2025-092, moved by Deputy Mayor Winans, seconded by Councillor Page. Be resolved that council receive the building department's monthly activity report for information. Anybody have any comments, questions? Yeah, sorry, up your hand. Very little difference between 24 and 25 for the month of August. One's almost 63,000. And the other one's 63,245.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's, yeah. Okay, call the question, all in favor? Carried. Yeah. Next, we have report 2025-093, and it's the alternate voting methods for the 2026 municipal and school board election. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wyman, to be resolved that council authorize the alternative voting method of internet and telephone voting for the 2026 municipal elections. And the council approved the sole sourcing and provision of electronic voting services to Televote Solutions Incorporated for the 2026 municipal elections. Okay, comments, questions? Yes, Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, the one thing we had talked about when we did it last year, or year after the election, and that is we were supposed to look at an option of having one place in the north end of the township, maybe for paper ballots, because the trouble is, and I had a lot of people that said they were gonna vote, but the lineup coming in was too hard to get in here. Once you get in here, it's fine, but there's not a lot of parking, and they were lined up trying to come in that day, so. If we had something, this would be good for the south, and if we had one alternative in the north end.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let the clerk say a few words, but reference paper ballots, I think that's on the way out. And I'll let the clerk explain.
So, through Mayor Schubert. Again, just coming in within 6 months, looking ahead to the election and with the information I have from the past election. Paper voting has decreased. I do understand that there's a lot of different areas within the township, so I believe we're in discussions at advanced polling at different community centers within the township, hoping to get people out to vote electronically in advance and then holding a day of paper here in the township office on election day. If we did 2 locations for paper ballots, we would require more staff on site. Definitely something we can talk about, and we can bring a report back to council with the options and how we should proceed. There is the option of going solely electronic. I didn't put that in the report because I wasn't quite sure how council was feeling. I think we did take a quick look at the population of electors, and I believe about 44% are seniors. Not saying that all seniors vote by paper, but that does seem to be comfortable for them. In my experience, having an option of both paper and electronic seems to be best. You can hopefully cut down on the lines by having multiple locations throughout the township, and hopefully being able to have people come out instead of having them come directly to the township office here. Hopefully will be more accessible for our residents.
Yeah, well, we discussed this possibly, if you do without paper, then they come into here and you'll walk them through on an iPad or whatever, and they choose that way. Still keeping it all electronic. Yeah, I think the important thing is, and I remember back on my mother, voting was one of the most important things to her, you know, and you gotta remember, these people came through the Second World War and Depression and everything else. And, you know, the seniors' homes, at that time, you know, they would get dressed if possible and leave just to vote. That was how important it was to them. So, and I remember that, and I hope everybody has the same mindset. Now, our voting is about 43% of voter turnout, but that's normal. I think the government of Canada is about 30 something.
38 or 39%, I think it was.
So, it's just the way the times are. But, the deputy mayor brought up a good point. You know, we talked about having it probably in a couple of places, so something to think about. We're looking for feedback, I guess that's one, so. No. Yes,
Sorry to you again. Part of the recommendation is also to sole source, and the report does outline, the township's experience with IntelliVote. My understanding is that IntelliVote's been used in the township for the previous 3 or 4 elections. So that was part of the recommendation. There is an opportunity for savings going in with the municipalities, the majority of municipalities in, Granville.
yes, yeah.
The other thing I'll add too, from a budget implication, is we do set money aside in every year's budget that goes into an election reserve. So that money is then drawn next year, the cost of the televote and any other costs are associated with the election. So
And I know all the clerks got together on this from all the municipalities, so they're united on this, so. Anyway, which is good, yeah, which is good. All right, any other questions? Call the question? I'll call the question, all in favor? Carry. Next, we have report 2025-094. 2025 Community Garden Project Update, moved by Deputy Mayor Wyman, seconded by Councilor Henry. Be resolved that council approves an allocation of $5,000 to be funded through the Economic Development Budget for 2025 to support the matching requirements of the Community Futures Grenville Grant awarded to the township for the development of community garden project. So, we do have pictures, I guess. Any member have comments or questions? Yes, sorry, Councilor Pate.
That's okay. So, your worship, of course, this came in through the economic development last year. As, you know, a suggestion, and I thought that, it was something worth exploring. So I know that Will has been working fairly hard on this for the last several months and looking at different options, and it's nice to see something coming together. I think it's, a lot of options coming together to make it, you know, a kind of a destination, I guess, in this part of the township. So, you know, I like the stuff you brought to the table, and, look forward to seeing this kind of take shape.
Anyone notes? Willow, do you want to say anything? Reference your report? No, not again. You're good. Okay, just one thing.
CAO.
no, let the mayor go first.
Staff recommended allocating this funding from 2025 Economic Development / Professional Services, which has funds remaining to support this initiative. Okay, explain that to me.
That's what I was trying to. No, we did budget $75,000 in the professional services to do the Ainley feasibility study for the New Church Road. That came in at about $50,000, so we haven't spent any money to date, so the thought was to take the $5,000 from that. There'll still be some savings in that account for the end of the year. But that will be our allocation along with the Grenville Futures 5,000, which will be a total of $10,000 towards this project. I look at this project as being kind of a phase 1, and we would look at expanding it in future years depending on the interest. But I think the value that we get for the $10,000 is so much more with partnerships with the South Grenville District High School, with Heidi in regards to the butterfly project. So I think there's a lot of elements that play into this initiative that could be very worthwhile moving forward.
Any other comments? Yes, definitely.
Well, I think once we have this done, people will add this onto their, like if they're going to the other flower gardens, they'll add this onto their list of places to go see. Like, it looks really awesome.
Yeah, I just, I think I talked to Willow earlier today and we kind of threw out a couple of things. But I think what's going to make or break this, in my opinion, be location. Location. It's got to be in the right spot. And just because we have land here or water here or that, I think you gotta look at it in a way. I don't know how to look at it, I've never done gardens. It's different, you know, in Prescott, they have the churches. They picked that location, but, with the township, I really think you gotta look at where it's gonna be to make it successful. That's my opinion. So with this report and the next two reports, I'm really gonna be questioning funds. Because we've missed our finance meetings, which I wasn't happy about, but that gives the deputy mayor and I at least to kind of know where we sit. And I just want a good feeling on funds, so I'm not going into another high tax year, so. Anyway, enough said. I think it's a great program, I support it. So do we call the question, or anybody else have comments? Okay, I'll call the question, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next, we have the enhancing access to spaces for everyone. Report 2025-095, moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be resolved that council approve the submission of an application under the enhancing access to spaces for everyone, brackets EASE, grant for the North Augusta Community Hall. And that council authorize staff to engage with grant match to assist with the writing and then submission of the application on behalf of the Augusta Township of Augusta. Okay, comments, questions, members? Yes, Deputy.
Yeah, is this a real complex process to get this grant? Because it's gonna cost us $7,500 if we let grant match do it. I mean, we were supposed to do the easy ones ourselves, but is this a real complex one? Or if they do it, is there a better chance we'll get the grant?
Well, I think it's a bit of both. We work well with grant match. I think that with the time involved that it takes to do all of these grants, that it's very worthwhile. It's for 60,000, so we owe 6,000, which I have available in my contract. Contract services. I have $30,000 there. So the 6,000 would come out of that. Now, we also have a choice. If we find that we get accepted, we can always refuse it. We can say, no, you know, we're not going to accept it at this time. If, you know, for some reason council doesn't feel we want to move forward with it. But this is for a ramp that is quite expensive and is needed at the North Augusta Community Hall. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you have the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the, well, that's good then. But we know that North Augusta, you know, needs some improvements. And this is one of the improvements that they really do need. If you look at the base of this ramp, it is deteriorated. It is really, and I think we're getting to the point, Amy, that we really don't want to use this ramp anymore just because of the condition it's in.
So how many years the ramp been there, you know, approximately?
I think it's been 15 years. I think you mentioned it was built in 2013. Yeah.
Okay. CAO, you have a question?
The one thing I will note, and Mayor, you alluded it at the previous report, is about finding some savings so we don't have a high tax rate increase next year. If I look at this project as a prime example, this project needs to be done sooner or later. So if we can get $60,000 to cover the cost, there's a % off the tax rate that we don't have to add to our ratepayers next year. The only cost to us is if we get the money, it's going to cost us $6,500 for a grant match, which I think is a really good return on investment.
Which would be budgeted in for the 2026 budget.
Correct.
Yes, then.
Well, the one good thing I see on this, the only cost to us would be what for grant match, because 100% of the eligible project costs can be
Correct.
So, yeah, so it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you and I gotta look.
We don't have to put up 25%.
No, but you and I gotta look at the finances, right?
Yeah,
Make
we
sure.
don't have to put up 25% like others.
No. Um. I thought you were gonna say use some of John's.
Oh, jeez.
So, sorry, I already wrote it down, John, so.
Next meeting, we'll have more for you, Mayor.
We will. Okay, any other questions, comments? Oh, a couple questions, all in favor? Carried. Yep. Next, we have, report 2025-096 be moved by Deputy Mayor Wine, second by Councilor Henry. Be resolved that council approve the submission of an application under the New Horizons for Seniors Program, community-based projects, and the council authorized staff to engage the grant match to assist with the writing and submission of the application on behalf of Township of Augusta. So, members, do you have any questions? Anybody? Yeah.
This is a similar situation as the one before. I mean, we can get 100% of the funding, just the 2,500 for a grant match. So that's a worthwhile project, and we do have a high percentage of seniors in Augusta Township. You know, stuff like this is even more expensive.
I guess the one thing I kind of question in this one is, well, two things. One, this would be again, the 2026 budget.
Would carry it over. We already have the money in the budget for those two grants. In my budget for this year, 2025, we would carry it over into 2026.
Okay, the other thing is, you mentioned something about a survey.
Yes, I'm
And-
working with Willow on a survey and we're actively getting it out there. I've also met with senior groups. And I've already got some of the surveys returned. But the reception that I have received at meeting with these senior groups is that they're very interested. They're interested in even volunteering and coming out to support whatever we come up with as far as what the survey comes back and directs us into doing.
No, it's good. The only thing I've experienced over the last 2 or 3 years is Walker House. Walker House in Prescott, a lot of Augusta Township people want to go there. They can go there, but they gotta pay for it themselves.
So I was not going to bring that up at this meeting, but it was brought up to me today. In the past, I was told, and I believe that Edwardsburg Cardinal subsidizes the $40. They pay a percentage of it. And in the past, Augusta Township did the same. I was questioned as to why that no longer is in place. And I said that I would bring it back and ask.
Yeah, I think you should look into that. I don't remember, do you remember anything like that?
I think it was a number of years ago.
I think it could have been just a handshake too, deal, but. Yeah, CAO.
The only thing I can think of is whether or not, I know before Augusta used to reimburse people for out of town fees for like Brockville and stuff, whether that was part of it. I don't know, but
We'll check it
hockey,
right now.
figure skating, so whether that was, but certainly we can explore that a little bit and.
I think Walker House is important because like I said, I had not a lot, but a fair amount of seniors that want to go to Walker House, so.
So
Yeah.
through your worship, that is something else that we're looking at. We are not in any way going to duplicate any program. As a matter of fact, Edwardsburg Cardinal, the town of Prescott, and the township of Augusta met in late spring. And we agreed that we would work together on programs and promote for those programs within our own communities so that there would not be any duplications.
The other thing I would recommend, you possibly talk to a food bank, South Bradley Food Bank. They have a lot of seniors that need help. And they may be able, they won't tell you who they are, but they may tell you what sort of programs this may help with, you know, when it comes to recreation and that, so. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and I think some of this, we can probably run through the library, because I know the library, when I was on the library board before, they do a lot of work with seniors on computers and, getting them aware of grandparent scams and stuff like that, so computer security.
I already met with them today.
Okay, good. Any other questions, comments? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Bring this over here. Hey, I'm supposed to. So next we have, notice of motion. Does anybody have a motion to bring forward? Okay, see nothing. Window or bylaws. So bylaw 3795 2025 development agreement with Follett. Moved by Councilor Henry, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be resolved that bylaw number 3795 2025 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of a development agreement between Carl Ronald Follett and the Corporation of the Township of Augusta be read the first time, second time, third time, be enacted as read. Comments, questions? Okay, call the question, all in favor? Carry. Yes. Move. Winnell and the Corporation of the Township of Augusta be read a first time, second time, and third time, be enacted as read. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? Carry. So next we have announcements. Any announcements? Any members? Yes, Councilor Kelly.
My worship, just a reminder again, November 7th is the awards at the Maitland Education Recreation Center. And also, I guess more of a comment, but I wanted to thank Rob and the entire Augusta Fire Department. They just completed, it's been a week, 2 weeks now, the junior firefighters program. And my son was one of the first graduates. I was happy to attend the graduation. I know you couldn't make it, Rob, but it was a cool night, kind of see what they went through over the period of the 9 weeks. And yeah, it was kind of cool seeing kind of my son getting a chance to live vicariously through him and do what I always wanted to do. So thanks for doing the program. I got great feedback every week. He was come home, he was always really excited about everything and ripping open cars and all that stuff. So yeah, wanted to definitely pass it along.
Thank you. I'll let them know.
Yes, Deputy. Well, just let everybody know again, special fair, and we'll be in the parade, and a big thank you to John for letting us use the truck, and also for giving me the code, so I didn't end up in jail.
You know, gets the phone call for it.
Jeff wants to make sure that you give him the code ahead of time, or make sure the alarm is off when he picks up the truck for Saturday.
This,
Yes, this Saturday.
okay. I would,
In the frame of 10 a.m.
We have to be
be
there.
right there in Oakdale.
Yeah.
Truck 11, fair.
One question while you're here, John. How do you turn on the top light?
Switch.
On the truck.
In the truck.
So.
Training.
So there's a switch or something with the door. You probably saw the window wouldn't go up or something.
Yeah.
There's a back order there's something wrong with the, recognizing the doors open. I don't know. I'm
Yeah, I
not a
understand
mechanic kind of person, but I know there's a back order of a switch that we need for that
No,
truck.
sorry, the emergency light on top.
Oh, sorry. There's 5 buttons on the front there. Button number 5. Button number 5 turns on the amber. Sorry, yes. I'm not talking about the inside.
And that's labeled?
It just says button number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 5.
I thought you would just push all the buttons down anyway.
Number 5 will turn on the amber on the roof, guys, yes. Down by your left knee, yes, number 5.
Tell my label maker, you can just label it for.
Press here.
I think number one would probably lower the arms to the snowplow, he's scraping the cement.
Anyway,
Don't
thank you.
push number 3.
Don't push number 3.
Start pulling up. I didn't go to road school, so.
Push 3.
That's the eject button, right?
Okay. Nonsense. Moved by Councillor Henry, second by Deputy Mayor Wyman to be resolved bylaw number 3797-2025. Sorry, I did. I jumped the gun here, sorry. Any questions on the agenda from the public? Okay, thank you for coming. Any questions on the agenda items for the press? Think there's any press on board? Just a note file that Veronica Birchall is no longer with the, I think she's retired from the Beacon. So I just want to, if she's watching this, thank you very much, Veronica, for all the time you put in, so. Okay, so go ahead. Oh, there is?
No. It's done.
Oh. No opposed meeting tonight. And next we have the bylaw to confirm proceedings of council. Moved by Council Henry, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be resolved that bylaw number 3797-2025 confirm the proceedings of council of the Township of Augusta at its meeting held on September 8, 2025. Be read first time, second time, third time, and enacted as read. Call the question, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wyman, second by Councillor Henry, be it resolved that this council meeting do now adjourn at 6:12 PM till September 22nd, 2025 at 5:00 PM or at the call of the mayor, subject to the need. Call the question, all in favor? Here, thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Very much.